What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Luis King Kong Ortiz. Luis King Kong Ortiz, he is eyeing the return in November, and he states that he's ready to fight anyone. The last time we seen Ortiz, he was fighting for the WBC Heavyweight Championship title, fighting Deontay Wilder, was winning every round until he was knocked out in the seventh. Okay, he took a couple weeks off, and he was eyeing a return in March. But of course, in March, that's where everything came down with the coronavirus. So he could not train, well, not at least publicly. So he had to build a ring in his house. And he had this to say. He said, "I didn't even stop training at the worst time of the pandemic. So I feel great. I always put a lot of interest in my preparation. I won't lie to you. I spent some months in a lot of fear because I have a sick girl with a skin disorder, and I thank God she's entering a clinic for new treatment. I had to be very smart to balance workouts and health care." He said, "This is my job, and this is how my family eats. Without work, you can't live. But in my particular case, boxing is what I love, my passion, and I can't wait to put my gloves back on." He says, "The worst part is that there's nothing. Imagine my future as a trainer in the hard work of every day. The rest is taken care of by my manager, Jay Jimenez, and Al Heyman. I'm ready to fight whatever comes. I don't care about names or levels. I face whoever wants to fight me." He also says that "I feel like I'm 35 and I'm in great condition, and I think this is the moment of my career in boxing. It has come to my wonderfully. I've rejuvenated myself and my body has healed any problems. All of that gives enthusiasm for what might come right away." Okay, this is translated, so it's kind of difficult to, I wish it was in Spanish, honestly. But what I'm getting from this is, he knows that he's took a whole year off. He knows that he's an older fighter. We hear the jokes. We hear all the rumors about him being 83 or 143, or he used to spar with George Foreman, or he used to be Jack Johnson's sparring partner. So, we know about some Cubans will come over here and give you a false record of the age, okay? It's like a brand new life, right? Why not? So taking a year off like he did, that's a lot worse than someone that is actually 35. He may feel 35 today, but feel 47 tomorrow. That's the thing about it. And when he says come right away, what might come right away, he knows there's a sense of urgency to get these fights done. The thing that they don't talk about in this article, which they should have mentioned, is he was scheduled to fight in November. He hopes to fight in November, but he was scheduled, and he was on the undercard of the Ruiz Areola fight with Andy fighting, as the headliner. But of course, he pulled out, and I think that brings his fight in limbo, because I don't know if they can actually give him a headliner without Andy, because I think what they're trying to do is, have Andy fight and then have Luis Ortiz fight and then hopefully build a fight like Al Heyman likes to do and bring them together at a later date sometime next year. Well, Andy's not fighting until next year. So I don't know if they're even going to have that venue for Luis Ortiz exclusively for whoever. So it's still up in the air. And imagine someone like Ortiz that is getting older, how this really makes him feel, because he doesn't have time to sit around. Just like Povetkin doesn't have time to run around the ring, for many rounds fighting a younger opponent. Okay, it's like the same thing. Now, Ortiz is a good fighter. I think he does train a lot. Not anything stringent, but I think Ortiz is a good fighter, and I think he can upset some fighters of this day still. He'll be or have a really good fight for anyone, in the heavyweight division. When I think of Luis Ortiz, I honestly think of George Foreman, because people joke about how old he is, but guess what? George Foreman is the oldest heavyweight champion in the world when he knocked out Michael Moore. So there is hope. We just seen the evidence of hope. Okay. When Povetkin knocked out a younger Dillian White at age 32. Okay, so it can happen. So imagine Luis Ortiz fighting Povetkin if Povetkin knocks out Dillian White. Imagine Dillian White fighting Ortiz. Okay, they're built the same age, so there's no excuse there. So I would love to see any of those fights. Why not? If he wanted to fight Andy Ruiz, fight Ortiz. Because to me, Dillian White is at this point where I think the opportunity has been snatched from him that he fought so hard to get that he might have not ever had. Let's be real. But at the end of the day, there are fights to still be made that I still want to see personally. But you guys tell me what you think about Ortiz wanting to return to the ring in November. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.